So in a very windy PE today, I believe it's going to be galing at 91 k's an hour. But anyway, we're here and we have a 2000 W220 S500. Now the W220 replaced the W140 in 1998, and development on the 220 actually began back in 1992. And at the time, it was one of the most advanced cars in the world. A lot of things were introduced in it. The first Distronic, the first curtain airbags in the Mercedes-Benz came in this car. Had a lot of the features that the 140 had, like the soft closing doors. That was also, I'll show you on the back door here. Pulls it in and closes. And a really beautiful example of this. It was brought around by the owner, Andrew, this morning. And yeah, we're just doing a video on it. Really, really nice example. It's done about 140,000 kilometers. And of course, in this video, we're going to be taking it for a drive, talking a little bit about it, a bit about the features of the car. These S500s had a M113 motor. Is it an M113? I think it is.
We can check.
I'll check. Put out 225 kilowatts. It's around 300 horsepower. And 460 Newton meters of torque, and had great performance back in the day. I mean, 0 to 100 in these, 100 kilometers an hour, was 6.5 seconds, 6.3 seconds I think, and of course it had the top speed limited to 250. But in addition to the multitude of features this car had, it had cylinder deactivation as well on the S500. And consumption wasn't actually that bad. I was reading a little bit about it, and they're speaking around 11.5 liters per 100 k's. So really not bad for a big old V8. Beautiful car. If you have a look inside, had ventilated seats. Obviously all the luxuries you could want in one of these cars. And I always like the shape of them. They obviously have the airmatic suspension as well. I remember back in the late 90s, as I was saying, I always liked the shape of them. I love the 140 now, but back then I thought it was a very big square block. And when this came out, it really moved, for me anyway, moved it along, and yeah, the styling was great, I always thought. And these days, they're remarkable value for money, these W220s. They had a bit of a bad rap with the air suspension, but not impossible to resolve. And certainly, yeah, with a bit of maintenance, they last. I'll pop over the bonnet and you can have a look at that as well while we're here. So it is an M113, covered under a big piece of plastic. This particular car has got a full service history, initially with Mercedes themselves, and then once the warranty expired, I believe it went on to a local Mercedes specialist here in PE who's been maintaining it. It just had a whole lot of work done. Andrew was telling me in the region of around 50,000 Rand work, just bringing it up to spec. So it's really in good condition now. What do you think, Bill? Have you ever driven one of these?
No.
Not?
Don't see many around.
No, you don't?
No.
You don't see a lot around in good condition. I mean, there's some that have been neglected because obviously they're not cheap cars to maintain. And back in the day, they were exceptionally expensive cars to buy. And it's sort of, you know, with those sort of cars, they go down the ranks, and eventually they end up with people that aren't in the ability, or don't have the ability to maintain them properly, and they deteriorate very quickly, you know, under those sort of conditions. So finding ones that have been preserved and been properly maintained, not something you see frequently. But I think let's take it for a drive, and you'll see how this runs.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we leave the old Mercar warehouse here, once again going on Old CV Road here in Chelsea, in Nelson Mandela Bay. So it's a 2000 S500. With us is Andrew, who's the owner of the car. Very kindly brought it past for the video today.
Thank you, Ian.
And Andrew, you were saying you've owned this for a couple of years now.
Yeah, I bought it for my birthday in 2023.
Okay.
So 2.5 years.
Nice birthday present.
It was indeed.
And you've used it quite a bit?
No, not too much, but I've done about 10,000. Just on 10,000 kilometers since I got it.
Okay, you were saying you've got quite a few other Mercs as well, a couple of 123s.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful car. I mean, it's just so, you feel so concentrated in here, you know?
Absolutely fit for a king.
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, it's just, I mean, it's so comfortable as well. I was saying in the introduction, there are so many features that were introduced with the W220. Like Distronic, like curtain airbags. Was the first Mercedes with that.
Okay.
Ventilated seats. A couple of the other features. I mean, you're quite familiar with the car. What else really stands out for you?
If you push the button, it cools the seats down. That's quite nice. That's very nice.
Heated as well, or just?
Yes,
oh yeah,
yes,
okay.
Yes. Yeah, heated and cool. Yeah, no. I mean, to go on the long road with this motor car is absolutely a nice experience.
Yeah, I mean, it makes no trip. Makes the trip easy, huh?
No, it does. And a person feels so safe in these vehicles.
And they were very, very safe cars.
Yeah.
Does it have, I think it's got the Distronic as well, the speed, where you set the speed control and it sort of...
Yes, it does. Over there, and it goes, you've got the limb button, I think they call it, where you can set it to keep the lowest and the highest speed constant.
Okay. And certainly stability control and all of those sort of things. They were very, very safe cars.
Yeah, no, that's for sure.
And are. And also, see, I mean, 300 horsepower, it's 225 kilowatts. They go like the clappers for such a big car. 1,800 kilos is what these weighs, and 0 to 100, 6.3 seconds, somewhere around there. It's crazy, huh? And obviously just instant response as well.
The car's really very well looked after and maintained, 100%.
Talk a bit about the maintenance that you've done on it recently. I know you were saying prior to us starting to film, you were talking a little bit about it, but what have you had done recently on it?
Well, I had a major service done in January, and I had the air shock on the right front replaced.
Okay.
Yes.
Was that an easy part to source?
Well, luckily, the right people, you know.
Okay.
If you know the right people, that's not a problem.
So
there's parts all over.
Yeah.
And like I say, if you've got the right people, then it's easy
to source anything.
Yes.
And only 143,000 Ks, and you're also saying it's got a full service history as well.
Full service history, correct, with Mercedes-Benz.
Okay.
And then with Lino Logic Mercedes.
Okay. Which is the local Mercedes specialist. He focuses on them.
Correct.
Yeah, it has for many years. I remember when I moved down here, it was still called Top Gear.
That's correct. That's
back
100%.
was in Newton Park. Yeah, well, we'll pull away a little bit quicker now. I'm not going to cane it, but just to... And I mean, that's from 2,500 revs. That's so smooth, eh?
Absolutely.
I mean, you don't feel anything. And consumption's surprisingly good on these cars as well.
Well, it depends on how heavy your foot is.
Sure, yeah.
But if you need the power, it's there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's there. But if you run it smooth, then I suppose for the size of the engine and the car, it's not that bad.
Well, we always do this 80 to 120, so let me do that. So get it down to 80 here. But that's a nice, it's indicative of what you would be doing when you're overtaking a truck or something like that. So let's see, so 80, kick down. I eased up there a bit. And there we go, 120. And my foot wasn't flat. I didn't want to redline it, and it just pulls. Beautiful. If we change modes in the gearbox back to take it off sport there, that should stop kick down, or most of it. Let's have a look. So from 80, so I'm trying not to kick down. Still pulls beautifully, yeah?
Yeah, no, the power is there.
And the one thing about this, the Airmatic suspension as well, it is a very comfortable ride.
It is.
Yeah.
And over here you can lift the car by about 2 inches.
Okay.
And otherwise you can actually stiffen the shocks.
Okay.
And it sits low on the road, especially on the freeways.
Okay.
It just sucks down and sit.
Yeah, it's a great system actually. And one of the early ones. That's that over there, the damping rate.
That's right.
Okay.
Yes.
And what exactly does that do?
It just stiffens the shocks, I would say.
Okay. And can we push it now?
Yes.
Okay. Or up?
Up. There you go.
Oh, you can actually see all of a sudden the ride does become firmer. Eh?
Yes.
And I suppose that would also be very nice in the mountain pass twisties and stuff like that.
Absolutely. I went to Cape Town a little while ago with it, and it was fantastic. Going through the Oudtshoorn, the R62, I think it is.
Okay.
Yes, and it was marvelous.
And it doesn't detract too much from the ride. I mean, the ride is still nice. I mean, you don't, it's not that firm that it's jarring.
Not at all. Not at all.
Take that off again. I love the display as well.
Clean. I
Yeah.
like the dials. It's clean and it's classy, I think.
Yeah, no, it is. And decent sound system. I think they had Bose speakers, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely fantastic.
Very comfortable place to be. Really is.
Absolutely.
And you don't need to rev it either. I think the torque peak, it's 460 Newton meters, is a 2,700.
That's it.
So, it's just very, very laid back. And yet you're covering vast distances quickly with it.
Very much so.
There's a pothole somewhere here. I think there it is there. What are these guys doing here? Also, I think you should take this for a drive as well.
Okay.
See what you think. But it's just, beautiful car. And in such nice condition, and I said that in the introduction to the video as well, you just don't see them in this sort of condition. Because of the cost that they were when they were new, and they were very expensive cars to buy new.
That's it.
And as they got, out of motor plan and stuff, they sort of went down to people that didn't have the ability to maintain it properly. And they deteriorated, and it's so hard to find ones in this sort of condition still that have been properly maintained and that drive like they were intended to drive.
If you look at the leather seats, especially
Everything.
the driver's seat, it's perfect.
Everything.
100%.
Yeah, everything works.
Carpets, it's 100%.
Yeah. And it's solid. I mean, I don't hear any rattles. The suspension is quiet. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do, and exactly what it did when it was new.
Absolutely.
And that's something that makes it a very unique car. You just don't see many like that. Not W220s. And I've always liked the shape, actually. When it came out back in '98, and I remember I looked at it, and I was driving a little C-Class then, and I looked at it with envious eyes. And unfortunately, I couldn't afford it. But had I been able to, I would have definitely picked one up. I'll pull over here, Bills, and you take it for a drive.
Okay.
Okay, so here, Bella's taken over now, driving this beautiful W220
On these narrow roads.
on these narrow roads. And they are narrow.
Yeah. For such a big car.
Oh,
Very nice car.
beautiful, eh?
I like the steering wheel.
Yeah, it's nice with
The
the wood
wood.
trim, eh? I
Yeah.
think it was standard, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
I wouldn't know, hey?
But really nice. I've always liked
Yeah.
that. It's not something you see on the older bikes.
No.
Hey, Andrew, on a 123, a nice wooden steering wheel, something you just don't see.
Yeah, no, never.
Yeah.
I think there are people that custom make them in a way like this.
Yeah.
The original ones.
Some dude's sawing up my steering wheel, I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
So you haven't driven a 220 before this?
Mm-mm.
No. And what do you
No.
think? I mean, you've driven a 140 and obviously a lot of 126s.
It's very comfortable.
It really is, eh?
Mm.
And you can
Lots
feel the
of power.
progression as well. You know, how you know the replacement of the 140 came is a big bump here. How it moved the game along.
Yeah.
Goodness, we're having no luck here.
This is like a new car to me.
Yeah, it is. It's like a spaceship to me as well.
Yeah.
Anybody who watches the channel will know that Bella and I drive, old cars. You know, my newest car is not even a Mercedes; it's a Mazda, and that's 30 years old. Yeah.
My newest is from 92.
92, exactly. Yeah, and also a Mazda.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And I suppose it's more modern than the 123. It's got electric windows.
Yeah, that's the thing. But it is very, very nice, and this is also the age. This is it's very modern. It's like spaceships to us, but with the exception to the norm. But even looking at it, there's just a lack of screens and a lack of all that sort of crap that's in the modern cars, and that's really it's still appealing to me. I like this still.
I like it too.
And so much space at the back as well. I mean, look.
Room.
Look behind Bella's seat here. And I think the back seats, is that another speed bump?
Another one.
Are they adjustable?
No.
Or, no.
No, they're
Okay.
not.
I think that was the long
long
one we
wheelbase.
saw.
But I mean, you can adjust temperature and stuff over here at the back.
Yes, it's got its
so
own
the-
air conditioning system.
So it's got a
there.
4-zone climate control, and vanity mirrors there on top of the roof. Yeah, like that. Very nice. And is it comfortable at the
Oh,
back?
very much so. My first time in the back. I love it.
Yeah, it's really nice being driven around in these cars.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's Bella pulling onto Seaview Road. Effortless, eh?
Very powerful.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful, and and just so, I mean, you're in a bubble. You don't feel anything. You don't notice anything.
And there's no wind noise, and today is such a windy day.
Yeah, I mean, it's 90 k's an hour. Look at the trees blowing in the
and it's
blowing
quiet
around
in
us.
here.
Beautiful. Well, I think that about wraps up the video. And if you enjoy these sort of videos, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and make sure you put on notifications. I see about 80% of the people that view our videos are actually unsubscribed to the channel, and we do put up new videos every single week. And thank you to Andrew, the owner, for bringing your beautiful car past, and what a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ian. Thank you.